So if you've ever been on your computer, you can probably relate to this. You're in the middle of that something important, just about to wrap up that big project, or you're paying bills, or whatever it is that's weighing most heavily on your mind at the moment. One more click and you're done. And then you see it, that little circle of death. It spins and keeps spinning. And you finally get so frustrated, you just got to walk away from it. In fact, I probably need to apologize to you because you can probably feel the rage starting to build up just me mentioning it to you. So let's go ahead and see if we can help you avoid that situation entirely in the future. This is Bill Justice. Bill knows exactly what that's like. The thing is, he's got the knowledge to help you get past whatever it is that's slowing down your computer. He's the owner of SuperTex in Millsboro. Bill, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
So you've probably heard this more times than you even want to try to count. Something as simple as preventative maintenance can solve a problem.
Yeah, a lot of times it's usually just falls back to preventive maintenance. Most of the people that we deal with, they don't actively keep their systems in working conditions. A lot of times they'll just run it until finally they start having issues with it. Right. And the majority of systems that I see, pretty much all of them need preventive maintenance done to them. They either have issues with their operating system, or they may have something as simple as a hard drive issue.
Yeah. So turn your machine off, leave it on. What do you do?
I recommend leaving it on just for the preventive maintenance facet. A lot of people don't keep in mind that a lot of these tools and utilities that might run to keep you from getting infected actually run in the background, and they run on a dedicated schedule, at least the way that we set them up. Right. And a lot of times I recommend leaving the system on just from a preventive maintenance aspect, so the customer doesn't have to keep in mind the schedule of, you know, when the system needs to run this or run that, so to speak.
Well, I've noticed mine updates mostly overnight.
Yeah, a lot of times, yeah. Sometimes you'll get hit with the update that may just come out of the blue, and you may not even expect it, and then you're waiting for an hour or 2 hours for the update to proceed. And sometimes there's a way to get around that, sometimes there's not. It just all depends.
Okay, you mentioned getting infected, viruses. How are we getting viruses? How does this happen?
A lot of time it comes from code manipulation, whether it's through a website, whether it's through the operating system itself. It just all depends on what activity you were doing before getting infected. Most of the cases that we see, it's just simply from people not being knowledgeable enough to access certain links through their emails, or just going to a website that they think might be legitimate that may not be legitimate.
Is there some way we can stop it from happening in the first place?
Yeah, make sure that your antivirus is kept up to date. Make sure that it's got the latest virus signature databases in it, so that the antivirus actually knows what it's actually scanning for and can actually recognize the viruses. Virus developers are working just as hard as antivirus developers are, and usually it all comes down to money a lot of times.
Wow, that's incredible. And I guess running a backup for recovery is
always recommended.
Super important.
Yeah, definitely, always recommended. A lot of times we've got a saying inside of the trade: back up your backups. Yeah. Because eventually the technology is going to fail, and when it does, you don't want to be stuck not having your pictures, videos. I mean, there's a lot of precious data that people hold precious, but they just don't realize that they need to back it up in order to maintain it.
Right. So. Yeah, I've got to admit, I am one of the worst about remembering what password is for what thing I'm doing.
It's hard because there's so many different sites that require so many different ways of inputting passwords now. It used to be you could just use a word. Now you need a special character, a word, a number, and everything else. It's just gotten too hectic to where people can actually remember all of their passwords because they have so many different ones for so many different aspects of their lives.
Right, but do it, because managing your passwords is
Definitely. There's a lot of softwares out there that will actually go through and help you manage your passwords for you, so that you don't have to keep them in mind. I'm kind of on the fence with that, because I always like to make sure that the user is aware of what's going on, and I feel that the user should be aware of their passwords.
We were talking earlier, and you mentioned something about solid state memory. Are hard disks and CDs on the way out?
They are. They're actually on the way out. A lot of software now is actually distributed through a download link, or it's distributed through a USB or flash drive. Right. Most people aren't using CD-ROMs or DVD-ROMs anymore. A lot of the software that you can find is actually just available through a download link through whatever software manufacturer you're trying to obtain. It just all depends. But a lot of times we don't even deal with CDs or DVDs anymore. Most of the stuff that we deal with is USB drives if we're going to load a software on that way.
Right. But technology has really taken us places we never imagined, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's for sure. It's really expanded the way that we interact. It's changed the way that we live our day-to-day lives. A lot of times, I mean, now surveillance technology is incredible. There's actually new technology out there where years ago we didn't have the ability to see color-based night vision.
Yeah.
Now we can actually see night vision in full stream color, and it's pretty incredible that you can actually do that type of stuff with surveillance technology now. It's just gotten really interesting.
So who knows where this technology is going to take us?
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because there's so many different facets to it. A lot of different advancements in a lot of different fields. I mean, you could even talk about drone technology for that matter, where we've got so many different capabilities with drone technology now that we didn't have 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how far it's come in such a little amount of time.
Who knows where it's going to go? Bill
That's
Justice,
for sure.
Super Tex in Millsboro, thank you for stopping by this afternoon. Wonderful talking to you.